Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Guys. We are in the era of great animes, and what better shows are coming than the ones that we're getting right now? And right now, we are about to get I feel like one of the better shows we've seen in a while, simply because of how the overall narrative is looking so far. But from what I can tell, Fairy Gone has some questionable CGI, which is funny to me because a lot of people didn't really care for Berserk and its CGI the way it came out. But this looks relatively like close to it. So if we hear a whole bunch of people like giving this praise and stuff like that, we know the Berserk hate was coming from a different place, or people who watch Berserk just expect much more than maybe this audience of people are getting. These the Fairy Gone fans. But like I was saying, I mean, the CGI was rough in my opinion, like off rip, like just from what I could see, it was rough. But I mean, overall, I still wound up enjoying it, even though there was probably some stuff that they left out for convenience, like their own reasoning behind not explaining uh, the separation between the two girls and stuff like that, which is fine. Um, it just now comes down to what all can be um, flushed out with these characters now that we know so much about these girls, and we're learning that one of them practically feels like she isn't even a part of her old life. She feels like she's completely different, or she's over what she used to be, and now she's something completely I guess different in a sense. But I want to talk about the fairy power. Um, I didn't really care for it that much. Only in the sense of the CGI kind of made me not like. I don't know. I think the CGI for the fairies is pretty rough, man. But let me know what you guys think on that. I think it's just funny that people were so angry at what they were getting with certain other aspects of shows, and this one comes out swinging straight for the ugly CGI. So I was just questioning what people were going to be feeling on that, because I know how a lot of people get down with it, and it's not pretty. um, but other than that, we kind of get this notion that after the time skip, after seeing her as a young girl and then, seeing her friend older, just like when she's older, they really don't have much to talk about because of the blonde Veronica, and just the way she's going about handling all of this. She clearly wants nothing to do with her past, and it makes sense because when all of this was said and done, like when it all ended or whatever, and she got to, just show how she was feeling, she clearly wanted revenge. She wanted to go in and like destroy these people who have destroyed her home. But the person she was with at the time was relatively weak, and I don't think she would have, nearly enough like confidence, or I don't know. I think, wow, I forgot that they can just suicide. That's cool. Um, it feels like they would definitely have their way of, making her stand out as like a weak link or something holding her back. Veronica, I'm speaking of. it just feels like that would be their easier way out of, um, you know, giving us a reason why Veronica went off by herself, including seeing how they were both acting when it happened at first. So we know that one was ready for revenge right off the bat, while the other was, still just scared of the overall battle that was taking place. So it's a weird notion to think that one kind of saw what she wanted to do and to destroy, and the other one was just kind of like scared to death and doesn't really, none of that stuff actually really matters to her in the sense of getting revenge for that town, even though maybe she does want it and she just hasn't really gotten the opportunity to do so because unlike her friend, she actually wanted to see her, the other survivor, and the other girl just wants revenge on J Lo, J something. That one guy who straight up burns down their village for whatever reason, like clearly it looked like there was a lot of fairies that were there. Like it was just a place that fairies were easily flocking to. So I could see that being a overall like problem for, maybe other coming around towns to see and they're like, "Oh, well, there's a lot of fairies here." Like the heck is going on? What's wrong with these people? So I'm not really sure where or how they're going to explain uh, the backstory of why they're, kind of going their own paths, and not to mention the time skip that happened at the beginning of just all of this. It was just like, oh, by the way, they're older now. The song's over, and everybody aged. um, but yeah, the whole thing with this week's episode is while she was trying to stop two people fighting, she winds up seeing a fairy in the air being shot out of its containment, and she tries to contain it herself, but winds up just like bonding with it somehow. So it's a very interesting like concept. Like I'm definitely into where they're going with that. Like why do they bond like this? Is the bond something that is can equate into something negative? Like does it hurt you over time because you're bonded with them? I mean, we got one that looks like a werewolf, one that can turn into shadows and enter in wounds, and now we have one that can straight up burn um, anything it touches seemingly. And from what we saw on how it burned, and then after what happens to you when your fairy gets burned, is you actually sustain the damage with the fairy. So not only are you taking damage when that stuff's happening, but you're also in the line of, like maybe you could die because after seeing Veronica's like her arm or like her hand, if you guys look, it's straight burnt, like it's burnt. So it's interesting to see that that's kind of the outcome that happens when um, you push these characters. Like you push them and they wind up fighting back, and next thing you know, you're getting your whole arm burnt because you thought you had a chance. But yet, no, I don't know. This episode was like pretty straightforward, but at the same time, it felt like because of the CGI was there and because the battles were kind of like we were just thrown into an auction and then it turned straight into a battle, So it didn't really feel like there was anything warranting this battle besides the fact that it was supposed to happen. Like we didn't know anything about it. And then not to mention, if you watch it through the credits, we find out that the thing she just fought tooth and nail for, found her friend in, is all it was a fake book or like a fake page that they acquired. So it's like not only did they do all of this to get this book or whatever, but they wind up getting it and it is fake. You know, like I don't know. The story, the not the story, but the episode so far was kind of just all over the place in my opinion, but it still was fun. It was still enjoyable. I mean, there are some things that I didn't understand why they would happen so quickly, or we didn't really get explanation why some people had the motivations that they did. But regardless of that, it was still dope to watch. So um, I feel like the CGI is definitely going to get a bad rep with everybody who hates it. But I mean, is that really all that surprising? Anime fans hating something? I'm not saying like we hate everything or like that every anime fan has something they hate on. It's just that usually if something is not perfect, that means it's not done correctly to some fandoms. And I don't think that's fair, but at the same time, I don't have really that much right to speak on it because I'm definitely someone who would rather the closest thing, looking as well as it can compared to just, like some of the stuff we see here, that kind of gives us the questionable doubt of is that how all the biggest fights are going to look? Is it going to look like this CGI, weird, like, werewolf with two eyes on one side of his head, you know? Um, it's very interesting to say the least, and I definitely want to know what you guys are like, what's your takes on it, if there's some novel readers or manga readers, and you guys know kind of like where they took some of this info from, and if it's like on point, let me know. Because it's nice to at least know that whatever they're going for, it at least meets the quality standards of maybe the manga in general. So that would be nice to know. Overall, though, Fairy Gone, definitely something I will be looking into. I'm already interested in the story as a whole, so if they can pull me in with that, I'm pretty sure they can now just top it off with some good storytelling or some good, um, just give me some good character development, give me more characters that are worth watching, and give me some better CGI than this week, please. But yeah, overall, let me know what you guys are feeling about this. I definitely want to know because it might be on the channel until it's over. So if it is, I just want to make sure you guys are on board with it as much as I am. And if not, I would like to know so then I can, not do as long videos or even I could do longer videos or something. You know what I mean? So it's just I like to get information from what the the general consensus is, and if you do enjoy it, I could definitely try to look into more information and get the videos to be longer, or vice versa. If you guys don't really care for it, I can make the video short, get straight to the point, and call it a day. But I got a couple more animes that I'm gonna be talking about. I don't know how many are gonna get out today. Me and my one of my anime people, Nick, uh, I'll definitely mm, comment back on you if you. I have Boruto, this show, and another show I watched, and I haven't watched Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher? So I don't know if you want me to try to get out 4 videos today, or if I should just like hold off on Boruto or the teacher thing. Do you really want teacher, or should I just throw out Boruto? Is my question and save it for Monday. But with that, my anime people, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. And I am the Anime G. I will talk to you in the next one. Alright, peace.